All right, good morning, Cyber Traders. Rise and shine here this Thursday morning. Great to see all of our students and members alike inside our live trading room. Great to see Grant, Linda, Brian had all of us just before, though. Wayne had John, had Andrea just before, Leda, and all of our students and members alike. Let me know if you could hear me loud and clear. And to all of us on social media, Facebook Live, LinkedIn, Twitter, YouTube, the works, you could tell by this, well, horrible voice. This is not, of course, Fausto Pugliese. Josh Levitan tagging in for the man himself today. And with that, actually, he'll be, I think, back perhaps by Monday. If not, maybe he'll step in at some point this week. I know he's just out on business. And with that, well, we got a busy morning ahead. We are in the middle of earnings season. We ended up seeing Tesla report last night or yesterday afternoon. And we'll get into that in just a moment. But, hey, to begin this morning in pre-market, not a bad pre-market. You had a couple stocks that popped just kind of out of nowhere. That's where we have to work together as a team and look to scan and see if there's anything that could make a move, namely after 8:15, 8:30. We start with our pre-market list, of course, and well, from there we ended up catching a couple of good pops, like we had said. So between, I think it was the SXTC, and then also another one we'll jump to PCSA, number 2% gainer. Not bad, but this AMSC to start, American Superconductor, it actually just made a pop a moment ago. So you could add this to that list of two stocks that I just mentioned before. Like, oh, nice pre-market with this AMSC as well. This had pretty thin volume, though. This popped, kind of out of nowhere. Brian says, sound a little off today. Uh-oh. Muddled audio. All right, we'll have to try and make do with what we got, but if everyone can at least hear me. Glenn's saying muddled. Give me a quick sec here, folks. I'm just going to log out, log back in inside our live trading room. Just takes about like 20 seconds, honestly. 1 second. For you folks on social media, good to go right now, but let me just check on our live trading room. All right, coming in hot here, folks. Let me know if you could hear me just a little bit better this go around. Hopefully so, and if not, we'll work with what we got. But AMSC led to a nice little pop just before, and hey, it was on kind of thin volume just a moment ago there, so it popped pretty quick. It ended up pulling back to 1190 right before I was starting this meeting. I'm like, do I consider jumping in? Do I think about it? I'm like, listen, we got the whole damn morning ahead of us. We got all day ahead of us, so it's okay. And for right now, this stock I'll add to our watch list for sure. Let me actually just break open Benzinga Pro while I'm at it, because I'm going to need it to talk about Tesla earnings, like we'd said yesterday. So AMSC, hey, as well, earnings. So the news out on it, earnings. Looks like they beat their revenue estimates and EPS estimate as well from here. So it's a nice little pop. Now, the issue on this stock is that it has been a pop and drop stock for us in the past. Just on this weekly candle, you could see it, but even on the daily side, pretty nasty move here, right? Had a big pop. I was hoping to see support hold a lot better at this time back in early August. Ended up dumping back down pretty quick. And well, hey, with it being on a relatively low float to start, if it's not going to make that continued move like you want or even expect, well, it's going to pull back and make a big move, just not the big move that you're looking for. So ended up completely dumping back down. We threw this in the garbage right away from that point. I was kind of in the back of my head waiting. I'm like, when's the next time we'll see the stock pop up again? But I wasn't holding my breath waiting for that day. Hey, for right now, AMSC, definitely, I'm going to just put this on our main watch list to begin, the day trading watch list. All right, but hey, PCSA, we'll talk about that as well. The stock also had a good pop shortly after 8:30. Let me break open Benzinga Pro once more on that. So PCSA announced completion of phase 1B safety evaluation, pharmaceutical company. So basically, we spoke about this as well in our phase 1 course yesterday. phase 2, phase 1, we got classes, we got the pharma stocks. No, seriously. So in our classes yesterday, we spoke about interpreting news. And, that's where we spoke about different pharma companies coming out, different trials, endpoints. And whenever there's phase 1 news, there's a lot more to go in terms of FDA approval. Phase 2, phase 3, there's like primary, secondary endpoints, 1A, 1B, all that stuff involved in between. So it's probably going to be years and years and years down the line before this thing even has a chance of getting FDA approval. But for now, hey, it's up 70% for the meantime. So the street's liking the reaction so far. Again, though, the stock is on a very low float. 940,000 share float right now. So very, very low. AMSC for reference, still kind of light, about 28, 29 million. So, this one definitely will fall hard really quick. You just see it on the daily chart as well, back from October time, heading into the end of last year. Big trees fall hard, right? So I'll add this to our list. Great day trade. Joyce says also PCSA stock offer of shares at $4. I don't see that as much on Benzinga Pro right now, Joyce, but I'll definitely double check as soon as we finish up. Normally, when there's like a common stock offering or a direct offering of shares, it's typically offered at a lower price. So maybe in the past, maybe that was previous news when it was like a $6 stock, like around here, tanked pretty quick a few days ago. That could have been it, actually. Oh, there we go. She just clarifies on Monday. There we go. Appreciate that, Joyce. Thank you very much. Joyce has some really good call outs in her room. She's a good trader of ours, and just clarifying right there on Monday that was. So that makes sense because it dropped off back on Monday. That kind of is in line there. So pretty good timing with the news with the drug coming out here, phase 1 pharma drug that they're testing. That obviously gets the stock price back up higher. So with that said, we'll put this on our list, see if it can keep going. All right, then last one that we had in pre-market this morning. Hey, I didn't put this on the pre-market list because it looked like crap by like 8:50 in the morning here, or 7:50 in the morning. It was a pop and drop, and once it makes that drop all the way back down, you don't want to follow it. So yeah, it did make a move shortly afterwards, but hey, there were better trades that we capitalized on even from there. This ended up just dumping right back down anyway. And hey, when you look at the daily chart from the end of last year, history often repeats itself there, right? So it just did that on the intraday side of things. Now at this stage, does it hurt us to put it on the morning list for the next, 5-6 hours ahead? It doesn't hurt us as much there, but I'd rather just go really across the gainers and losers lists here and see what we could add, to see if there's any new stocks popping or if there's any better plays here coming up. Oh, and before we even do that, let me just get Tesla out the way here. So, of course, Tesla, great call from one of our students, Brian, as well, one of our great traders in our room, Brian W. He was looking for this to hit down towards 190 after earnings yesterday, and well, ask and he shall receive. But Tesla ended up coming out with earnings, of course. I'm sure a lot of us, if not all of us, know of that, familiar with it at this point. But looks like their EPS missed, their sales missed on top, their operating margin down 8.2%. It says down 784 basis points year over year, EPS year over year. And then there's a bunch of other headlines, of course, from the conference call, and Elon obviously as polarizing as he is, just Benzinga Pro has about 100 different news feeds or news snippets on Tesla going into the day. So obviously we don't need to read all these on TSLA, right? I mean, every one of these at least has some snippet feature on Tesla. And really quick, and obviously Jim Cramer was talking about him last night, of course. Where did I see him? There we go. But with that said, at least, hey, Tesla will add to our main watch list. How could we not? We do like Tesla because it promotes a lot of volatility. It's just a little bit more expensive, of course. So you got TSLA, you got TSLL, which is the ETF. It's hard to borrow today, but I could add that with TSLA though because it's a lot cheaper. Now there's like actually a bearish one. You don't need to try and do this one here. TSLS. Granted, if Tesla keeps dropping, this will move up, but this is a little bit more thin. I'm not really a fan of trading this going up as Tesla goes down. I'd rather just short TSLL and Tesla, buy puts on Tesla, and then otherwise just wait for the bounce over time, right? Hey, let me ask us, Brian, Grant, Steve, what time is reversal time? And all of us, at least in our trading room, what time normally do we expect reversals out there in the morning? We went over this in class just earlier this week. 10:30, right? So Hey, in the event where Tesla crashes more at the open, perhaps around 10:30, perhaps even a little bit later, maybe a smidge later, like 10:45, you could probably get a bit of a bounce. Try and look for it, right? All right. So, hey, we got a good list to begin. 4 tickers on there at least, and 2 of them being Tesla related. But let's just go right from top to bottom now, see what we could add there. Ooh, LVTX. I was hopeful for this to make a better run after 8 o'clock. It was trending upwards so nicely heading into the 8 o'clock move. Of course, it pulled back. It dropped off a little bit. I'm sure this one's also really low float. 18 million shares. Actually, I mean, better than what I was expecting. I was expecting something like this 450,000 or 2.97 mil. So, 18 is not high float by any stretch of the measure. But, with that, it's still kind of holding here. If it can get back over the VWAP and get back over 250, namely, there's a fair shot here on this LVTX. I don't mind putting this back on our list here. All right, we keep it moving. SXTC, I think we said we'd go back to that one at the end. American Superconductor, this one's still moving up for right now, so obviously looking very strong. Oh, and really quickly here, I had it up before, actually, it just booted me off maybe like a few minutes ago, the NASDAQ Bookviewer. All right, so I'm going to get the NASDAQ Bookviewer up, and even in fact for that AMSC stock, let's just bring up the NASDAQ Bookviewer here, because, it's good to show these orders, not just for education purposes here on just like a meeting, but you got to prep up your levels for when the market does open up here. So, I'd say if anything, it's a pretty thin book, so you're not going to find like too many larger orders out there. Well, I said too many, not any. So here, 14,000 plus share order at 1490. It's only made up by 3 total sellers out there. So I know that's a ways away from where this is at right now. AMSC only at 1240. You're telling me that this can go up to 1490 perhaps? Possibly. Again, don't hold your breath waiting for it. But if the stock ends up making another pop by the time the market opens up or after, and we're in prime time trading, then why not look for that potential move? Or maybe if it happens in the afternoon, so be it. All right, so let's keep it rolling right here, folks. Let's see what else we got. Again, Tesla, we don't need to trade Tesla related ETF or ticker or whatever the hell. Just get yourself confused. So TIGR Tiger, this nice little pop here so far in pre-market. The order book will fill in on this, I believe, by the time the open comes. But just for now, make it easy for us. Add this as well to our list. I know the ETF SOXL, this one right here, chip ETF, making a hell of a pop early in pre-market and still holding here pretty nicely at the highs. So I like that. Going to put this on our watch list here. And, hey, I could probably put AMD, could probably put NVIDIA on the watch list. They are breaking all-time highs, both of them, I believe, respectively. So, when we're following the chip sector, of course, we're following AMD and NVIDIA and, the others too. But actually, these are more volatile. These are breaking all-time highs, these two. And even though they're more expensive, A, trade one share. You don't need to trade large size on them. B, if you feel like you can make more money trading a cheaper stock, well, do that. And we're going to put other stocks on our watch list, my friends. And then otherwise, C, well, hey, if you at least are a more experienced trader in our room in terms of being with CTU, meaning, hey, if you've been with us for a little while and know how to follow level 3 and perhaps have level 4, then you could trade the option on it too. But we don't recommend that for new students, at least. It's ultimately the underlying movement of the stock that moves the option, the premium price there. But yeah, SOXL, a little bit cheaper as a ticker here, ETF still, but I'll add that. I'm going to talk about AMD a bit there throughout the morning. All right, American Airlines also sneaky 5% pop this morning here. Is this also off of earnings? I didn't even. Oh, actually, in the back of my head, I think the answer says yes. Just double checking. Yeah, there we go. So American Airlines expecting Q1 adjusted EPS. Their sales beat the estimate. All right, nice little pop here so far. So American, I'll at least add as well. We got a really good list here, folks. Known stocks that we're familiar with. We got a few others that are holding near the high, still holding up pretty strong. So I like that. All right, so hey, really quick, I'm just going to ask for your help right now. We got to go through the whole loser side as well. But for anyone here on YouTube, Facebook Live, etc., at Cyber Trading U, Always look to hit the follow button, hit the subscribe button, be a friend, tell a friend. Look to spread the good word of Cyber Trading University. Looking to follow the big orders out there on level 3 and level 4. But, just let me know if there's anything that I'd missed on the gainers list and across the, trading room as well. For Kathleen, Grant, Steve, Michael, all of us here otherwise, just let me know. So let me just hop over to the loser side here. Again, got like Tesla ETFs, got like 100 of them now that are listed. I remember when there was just like 1 or 2 that became listed, all of these single stock ETFs that came out for like Apple and Nvidia. It happened like over a year ago, and it was only just 1 ETF for each of them. And now there's probably like 7 or 8. It just makes no sense to even follow more than just one. All right. So, honestly, doing my job here, folks, there's a lot that's down percentage-wise in terms of just activity this morning, but nothing really that's really piquing my interest too much. Market's moving up pretty nicely here. We spoke about Tesla, obviously. This is pretty expensive here. Humana, and it's also squeezing back up briefly for now. All right, hey, makes our lives easy here. Easy peasy, honestly. I'm going through this whole losers list right now. CVS? CVS, maybe. It's down near 5%. It is easy to borrow my TradeStation platform this morning. A little bit more name brand, obviously, but so is Tesla. Hey, we're in earnings season, so that's where we speak about, making sure that we try and not follow name brand blue chip stocks. Well, this is a little bit different, right? Obviously, with earnings coming out, news, you're going to see some good volatility on all these trades. So, yeah, CVS, I could actually slip just at the end on our watch list for now, but I think that'll just do it. I think that'll be the last one. All right, just checking out Benzinga Pro before we wrap up. And again, hey, if you're on social media, Facebook Live, LinkedIn, Twitter, YouTube, again, along with just joining us on social media, hitting the subscribe button, follow button. Actually, if you're interested in joining us inside our live trading room, continuing the audio commentary throughout the morning, and then across from there next week when Fausto's back, just scan that QR code on the top left of the screen, get you access to our live trading room on a week-long trial. We just conducted a full workshop just 2 days ago that you'll have access to the recording of, and you'll actually have access to the next live workshop we do next Tuesday. So if you're interested in joining us, just scan that QR code on the top left, and then otherwise, just let me know if there's anything else that we had missed. LVTX here, we already have that, of course. Linda's saying Mara approaching VWAP. It's a little slow poke. I love Mara. I love Mara. It's like one of my favorites, but for now, it's not doing anything special for me to put this on the main list. And you could say that for thousands of different trades, right? So I appreciate the shout. Mara is tradable, and that we'll likely call it out at some point later on, at like after, 10 o'clock, 10:30, 11 o'clock. We want to focus on the stocks that are more active here going into the open, but definitely Mara's tradable. Nokia was up big this morning. This thing is just dead. This thing is just flat. And with that, let me just check the news because I doubt it's a buyout. My assumption is earnings, but let me just see. Yeah, it looks like earnings, Nokia earnings, not a buyout, but it gapped up. It looks so dead and flat. I just wanted to check. All right, so folks, hey, I think that we're going to call it. Not a bad list. Actually, we got just a couple more that we said we'd go back to, or maybe just one, maybe the SXTC. Yeah, you tell me if this is looking good or not. So I'm going to pass on it. I like everything else that we got, though. Otherwise, we got 2, 4, 6, 8, 9 different tickers on our watch list. A couple of ETFs on there. Listen, if you don't have level 4, then we wouldn't want you to be trading these ETFs. TSLL, the SOXL. We'd rather you trade publicly listed equities like American Airlines, TIGR, AMSC, and of course, plenty of others that are on our watch list already. But, hey, for all of our students here, start and stick with our watch list here going into the open. And I'll be back on at least in just about 10, 11 minutes to kick things off. All right, everybody. Talk to everybody soon.